Hello, good day, my great students. How are you today? I'm sure you're fine. It's a pleasure to have you here on this medium again to interact and learn. How has been your day? I want to appeal to you to sit down, get your writing material. I'm ready for class. Please avoid all forms of distractions, pay attention, and let's learn meaningfully. The last class we had figures of speech part 1. We examined some figures of speech. I told you we have over 30 figures of speech, and to avoid bombarding with all of them, we're going to have this class twice. And the second part is here today. Before we go into the main content, let's see some objectives that we have for the day. The first thing is that you should be able to recall all that was taught in the last class. At least everything I taught in the last class. After this class, you should be able to recall them. But soon you should be able to explain more types of figures of speech. I'll be supplying more types today. So I expect you at the end of the class to be able to explain them. Also, you should be able to back your explanation with copious examples. You should be able to back them up. Give me more examples for the types you discuss. And lastly, by now you should be able to identify figures of speech easily in literary words. Although I tested you on the topic the last time, and I'll be having the correction of the topic of the test now. Let's have the correction. But before then, let's do a brief revision of what we did last time. Last time I told that a figure of speech is a phrase or word having, note this, a phrase or word having a meaning different than its literary meaning. Literal meaning, that is, the meaning of words used in literature are figurative in form. They convey meanings by identifying and comparing one thing. They compare and contrast. And these things have connotation, that is, they are connotative in meaning, and they sound familiar to the others. I've told you, the one thing that differentiates literature from other forms of writing is figures of speech. God knows physics and literature may have no difference if there is no figures of speech. So with figures of speech, we can differentiate literature from other forms of writing. And in class, I mentioned and explained the following. I mentioned metaphor, where I said metaphor is direct comparison. You compare two things without the use of as and like. You will compare two things without the use of as and like. Then I also mentioned simile, where I said simile is comparing two things using as, like, as though, as if, and many more. You compare two things using those phrases. If somebody is as wise as Solomon, he behaves like a goat. So this is simile for you. Then alliteration. I said alliteration is repetition of first or initial consonant sounds. Repetition of first or initial consonant sounds. Where I said some stupid students started smoking since Saturday. So SSS, consonant sound, is being repeated. Then personification. I said this is where you give the attributes of human or living thing to non-living thing. When you say the sun is smiling, S-U-N, the sun is smiling. The sun cannot smile. You're just saying the sun is shining briskly. But because you have given the attributes of human to the sun, you have personified that. Then apostrophe. I said this is where you address something that is not there, as if it is there. When you address something that is not there, as if it is, when you say, oh death, where is thy power? You are talking as if death is beside you and death is around. That is when you address something that is not there, as if it is there. Then onomatopoeia. Some people call it onomatopoeia, but it's onomatopoeia. I said this is when words reflect sounds. The sounds reflect the words, like words reflect sound. It's vice versa. When I say boom, 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 boom sounds like everything is up. When I say tick, tick, it sounds really tick, tick. Then oxymoron. Oxymoron is you place two contrasting words, statements side by side. You place two contrasting statements side by side. Then synecdoche. A part represents the whole. A part represents the whole. The crown is waiting for you. The crown. That means the king. You don't want to mention the person. Just say the crown is waiting for you. Or the pen is mightier than the sword. We know what the pen is. The pen is the press, the mass media, while the sword is our government, the so-called military. Then litotes. Litotes, I said, is understatement. You understate something. You don't say something so harsh as it should sound. When you have the girl has been put in a family way, you all know what that code means. When somebody is put in a family way, that means the person is pregnant. Then irony. Irony has to do with you saying exactly the opposite of what you mean. You're saying the opposite of what you mean. Wow. Deji is so brilliant that he came last position in the class. So brilliant and came last position. That is ironical. That is ironical. Then let's go on to my correction now. I said, state the figures of speech identified in these sentences. Figures of speech identified in these sentences. Her hair was like gravy running brown off her head and clumping up on her shoulders. These has said it all. Like, so definitely it is simile because you are comparing our hair to something. There was a loud tum coming from upstairs. Tum. You can see the word sounding like the real action. That makes it what? Onomatopoeia. Her cheeks are big red apples from the code. Her cheek is being compared to big red apple here, and it is done directly. No as, no like. Definitely, you can see this compared to this. It is strictly metaphor. The leaves dance in the wind. The leaves cannot dance. Here, the leaves have been personified, and that makes it personification. And lastly, he is as cute as a button, as is here, as. Make it simile. Let's run through the remaining parts of speech, figures of speech you have for the day. The remaining ones. The first one is antithesis. Antithesis. Here you juxtapose. You juxtapose idea. You weigh them and put them in a balance. Contrast ideas. You contrast ideas. Ideas are contrasted and put in a balanced phrase. When you say, that is one small step for mankind. One small step for mankind. One giant leap for mankind. You are comparing the two ideas. One small step, one giant leap. To err is human. To forgive is divine. You're stating the two sides of the case and you are balancing them. To err is human. To forgive is divine. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. This are antithesis from great men. This was said by the great William Shakespeare. Then also in Matthew chapter 22, verse 14, many are chosen, but few are. Many are called, but few are chosen. Here we are juxtaposing between being called and being chosen. The man proposes, God disposes. All these are examples of antithesis. Then we have truism. Here, this is a verbal pattern in which, note it, a verbal pattern in which two halves of an expression, the second half of an expression, balances against the first. That is, the second half of an expression is a reverse of the first. The second half of an expression is a reverse of the first expression. When I tell you, let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. This is balancing up. This expression is balancing up this. We shaped our building, and afterward, our buildings shape us. This is an expression that is balancing up this. Then we were elected to change Washington, and we let Washington change us. Here we have a balance up, a contrast to the first expression. These are technical figures of speech that you have to really go over again. So I want to appeal to you to please go over them again after this class. Also, we have idioms. We all know what idioms are. They are words that convey figurative meaning and impossible to understand based on part of the words or literary interpretation. You don't understand idioms based on part of the words or literary interpretation. No, you don't give it a literary meaning. If I tell you, it is time I hit the nail on the head. It is time you don't think because I've said that I'll pick a nail and hit somebody's head. No, it means it is time I say the actual fact. So idioms are figurative in meaning and they are difficult to understand based on literary meaning. Examples are: a person who is very busy might say, I have my hands full. When you have your hands full, it means what? You are busy. It's not because you have water in your hand, you have rice or of puff in your hand. Someone who is prepared to listen attentively might say, I'm all ears. I'm all ears means I'm ready. Speak. I'm listening. Speak, I'm listening. It doesn't mean you have ears all over your body. If someone guesses what you are thinking, you could tell them, you read my mind. Your mind is not a book. Just that a person can guess and predict what is going on your mind. Not that the person has turned your mind to a textbook or to a journal. To wish an actor luck, people often tell them, break a leg. Imagine you want to wish John Wick. We all know John Wick. Luck, you are John Wick's friend and is going for a movie shoot. It's, my friend, break a leg. He should not go there and break somebody's leg. You're just wishing him luck. It sounds figurative. Yeah, that is what it is. If you plan to watch someone closely, you might say, I'm going to keep an eye on them or keep an eye on you. That is because you want to watch someone closely. It's not that you remove one of your eyes and put on the person. If I tell you as my student that, don't worry, I'll be putting my eye on you. That means I'll be monitoring you and watching you closely. Next is personification. I've explained this in the previous class. I just like repeating it because of the technicality attached to it. I said gives human attributes to non-living things or ideas. You give human attributes to non-living things or ideas. And here we have the flowers nodded. How can flowers nod? You know when it is windy. A flower can nod. Then the snowflakes dance. Snowflakes, I said they cannot dance. Imagine you pour milk inside flakes. You know the way they will be going around and around and around. Then the thunder grumbled. Thunder cannot grumble. But when it is about to rain and we have heavy wind, you know how everything sounds in commotion. You start hearing different sounds from the thunder. Then the fog. You know what fog is? A fog cannot creep. But when you see fog move, you use that expression. And the wind followed. Wind cannot do such. It's only human that can do such. So try and note this. I am repeating this because of the importance. It is common and very peculiar to even WAEC English exams. They repeat this a lot. They test this a lot in WAEC exams. That is why I try to repeat this. Then, synecdoche. I said this is when a part represents a whole and a whole represents a part. A part represents a whole. If I tell you, he has 4 wheels. He has 4 wheels. I'm simply telling you that he has a car. I'm just trying to make it sound figurative. When I tell you he has 4 wheels, he has a car. I tell you he's a police. That means he's a policeman. I'm trying to plastic. I told you that time. It means ATM. It means ATM card, your credit card. Then Coke is assumed to be anything produced by Coca-Cola. And hired hands. My father has many hired hands. It means my father has many workers. So I've used hired here as being part to represent O. Then, onomatopoeia. The other time I told you that these are words that sound like what they are describing. I'm repeating these ones because they are technical to deal with. That's why I'm repeating them. I told you when you have booze, when you say the word booze, B-U-Z-Z, booze, it sounds like the word itself, click. It sounds as if something's really clicking. Like it's really clicking, booze, splat. Like something's really splatting. But you have words like tick. Tick. It sounds like, yes, it's ticking. Boom. Boom. It sounds really boom, boom. Then oxymoron. I said in oxymoron, you place 2 contrasting terms side by side. 2 contrasting terms side by side. Peace, force. How can peace be forceful? If I tell you, sweet sorrow. How can sorrow be sweet? How can sorrow be sweet? If I tell you, sad happiness. Sad happiness. Here I'm placing 2 contrasting things side by side. Free markets. A market can never be free. Sweet sorrow is here already. Yes, sweet sorrow. So these are placing 2 contrasting words side by side. Then irony. I said irony is when we repeat when we say the opposite of what we mean. We say the opposite of what we mean. That means there's a discrepancy, contrast between what is said and what is meant. How nice, she said. I told her I'd work all weekends. This is verbal irony. How nice, she said, when I told her I had to work all weekend. How can you tell somebody it is nice to work all weekend? You have been sarcastic. Let me use the word. I've been sarcastic there. Then a traffic cop gets suspended for not paying his parking tickets. I told you, how will a traffic cop, somebody who is in charge of such, get suspended for not paying up? So all these examples are ironical in form. And I'm repeating them because I want to get them and know them, because they are the constant ones. They are the constant ones that are mostly repeated in exams. They are always repeated. They are over repeated in exams. Then hyperbole. Hyperbole is the use of excess exaggeration. I call it over exaggeration. Over exaggeration. Over exaggeration. That's what hyperbole is. And God knows, it involves adding, let me say adding sugar. salt, Maggi, few things. You add, you scope up, let me use the word scope up things, like you make things more than what it looks like. When I tell you, I have told you 1,000 times, you can't tell me something 1,000 times, even when I'm deaf. You can't tell me something 1,000 times. When you say, that must have cost $1 billion. That's nothing in this world can cost $1 billion. I doubt. Only maybe when you're buying a plane or you're buying a jet, I can cost $1 million. Then I can do this forever. I don't think that's something one can do forever. I doubt. Then she is older than death. Nobody can be as old as death. God knows death is one of the oldest thing in the world, because it has been since the world immemorial. Everybody knows that. Everybody cannot know that. You are just trying to exaggerate and say it is something known to everybody. But God knows not everybody can know such a thing. Then metonymy now. In metonymy, a word is used for another. A part of the word, a word is used for another. Something similar to it. You use something similar to something to describe it. Something similar. Use the word similar to describe something. When you say the big house refers to prison. When I tell you, he has been taken to the big house, that means he has been taken to what? To prison. Then the pen. The pen, I told you that time, the pen is mightier than the sword. The pen refers to the act of writing. And it can also mean prison. When you are put in a pen, that means you are imprisoned. When I tell you the pen is mightier, that means the act of writing is mightier. Then, stuffed shirt. Stuffed shirt is always people in position of authority, especially in a business or office setting. I tell you, that guy is a stuffed shirt. That means the guy is in authority. Then the crown, I told you the crown means a royal person. Can be a king, can be a queen, can be a prince, can be a princess. When I tell you she belongs to the crown, that means she belongs to a royal family. Then pawn. Pawn is literally playing upon words. In pawn, you play on words. You play on words. Pawn is playing on words. You play on words. If I tell you, the tallest building in town is a library. It has thousands of stories. Look at this. Stories to library. To you know, when a building is tall, it has many story buildings. So I'm playing upon story here to mean it has many stories. Then I can't remember which state my wife wanted us to go on our next vacation. It's okay, Alaska. Alaska here is sound like I will ask her. It sounds like I will ask her. Like I'll ask her. I dropped an election somewhere. Are you sure? Yes, I am positive. Here, there's a play on I am positive. I'm positive, and it is playing on election also. If I tell you, go to Jide, he is a shoe mender, a shoe cobbler. He will mend your broken spirit. You all know what shoe cobblers do. They mend shoes. But how can a shoe cobbler mend the broken spirit? That means the guy might console you, or the guy will console you. So in porn, we play upon words. If I tell you 7 days without food makes 1 week. Makes 1 week. Not W-E-E-K, but W-E-A-K. 7 days without food makes 1 week. You become weak. 7 days without food. Then allusion. Allusion is making reference to historic concepts or things. Look at it. Reference to another object outside of literature. You make reference to events, you make reference to quotes, you make reference to people, or artistic expression. So you make reference to historic things. And we have biblical allusion, we have societal allusion, and stuff like that. Here we have a biblical allusion. Don't be a Judas. You know who a Judas is. Somebody who betrays. We know who a Judas is. I will rather not love at all than die a Romeo. We all know what Romeo did. So this is more or less a societal allusion. Then she is Potiphar's wife. Potiphar's wife is somebody who wants to lie with the maid. We don't know what Potiphar's wife is in the Bible. Then serving by the marriage is my Achilles heel. We know about this. It means something difficult to do. Something difficult to do. So when in allusion you make reference to things of old. You reference things outside literature. And then rhetorical questions. This is meant to ask questions that need no response. And is meant to emphasize a point. In this kind of question, you don't answer. You do the answering in your mind. Just to emphasize a point and possibly test your conscience. Sure, why not? These are, who knew? Does it look like I care? Are you kidding me? Do birds fly? Is the sky blue? These are examples of rhetorical questions. And at times when you see them in books, you know them in books, they are questions that don't deserve answer. They are questions you don't provide answers to because they are meant to emphasize a point. Then in conclusion, I once said, and I will repeat myself, using original figures of speech in a writing makes our writing fresh and makes our reader love it. They don't expect what they say. They say something unique and they love it. Figure of speech can help our reader understand and stay interested in what we have to say. For those of you who have been writing books already, when you use figures of speech well, your reader is engrossed in what you're writing and wants to read it to the end. Then, like I said, it makes literary work unique. Figure of speech is the only concept that differentiates literature from other types of writing. It differentiates literature from biology, it differentiates literature from English, and the likes. Then their usage, like I said, differentiates literary works from other forms of writing. Peradventure, you have questions after the two classes. You can forward your questions to me using darkboard.odemoloye@greenland.org. darkboard.odemoloye@greenland.org. I want to give you this important question as assignment. It's very, very important because it will boost your knowledge of the topic. Pick up your why question. Attempt all questions on figures of speech in them. Don't feel reluctant to do this. It's going to help you. It's going to surely help you. You'll see how very relevant the topic is. In the why question, it covers, in the objectives, it covers 70% of your questions and objectives. So pick up why question 2016, 2017, attempt all questions on figures of speech in white past question, and I'll be waiting to revise the answers with you in the next class. I want to thank you for listening attentively. Don't forget to go over what you've studied again in your later time. Do my assignment promptly and learn more. You learn more by researching more. God bless you. I love you all.